Well, hello everybody, and welcome to this week's Metaworld News. This is for the weekend, 23rd of April 2017, and I am, of course, Mal Burns, bringing it to you. We're recording this offline today for a few technical reasons. There's no guarantee it won't drop while we're filming. So, but that said, you'll be seeing it uploaded shortly after normal time. Anyhow, it's just a very quiet week, fortunately, so here we go. You can follow my general metaverse feeds, all about virtual worlds, VR, and social worlds in particular, at twitter.com/malbones. You can get additional items from twitter.com/metaworld business. Sorry, hypergrid business. I'll get that right one of these days. Ooh, naughty me. And of course, there's twitter.com/metaworld news. So between the three of those, you should get quite a handful, as well as me, Malbones, on Google Plus. Anyway, let's get going. 6 days ago, news.artnet.com. How do you make a VR art extravaganza? We went behind the scenes to find out. This is, of course, virtuality as used in the art world, but fascinating. You can always rely on artists to do some rather extraordinary things with new technology. UploadVR.com had a post powerful illusions addressing the code of ethics for VR. Getting into more serious stuff here. Citing that when the printing press was invented, Conrad Gessner feared it would cause an information overload that would be harmful to people. And then, of course, along came radio, television, and now video games. And so the story goes. But this is very basically, looking at the power of VR and maybe what should be done to on the cautionary front. VoicesOfVR.com, regular multi times a week podcast. I don't do them all, but 4 days ago we had Turning Your Torso into an Ear, sensory substitution and addition with Neo Sensory. Okay, this has in fact there have been quite a lot of other posts about this in the week that I may or may not have actually linked to, but being an audio podcast with an expert, this seems to be the obvious one to go for. Basically, they are playing with the idea of you're being able to sense things with your body, obstacles, physical things, and stuff like that. Via your body while you're in a virtual environment, as opposed to the inward-outward sensors and stuff that they have at the moment, kind of thing. Listen to that if you want more. Virtualreality-news.net has an article on virtual reality and the future, the workplace of the future, I should say. For those of you who are looking forward to going to work and diving into a headset, that one's for you, I guess. UploadVR.com had an article, F8 2017. This F8 was the Facebook conference. Facebook Spaces is the company's social VR platform, now launched in beta. I suppose in some ways the official launch of Facebook Spaces was the VR type event of the week. However, it is not being particularly well received. You'd think with over a decade of things like Second Life and OpenSim behind us, you'd think Facebook would better come up with something a bit more interesting than, well, the cartoony thing they have done. Right, the past, present, and future challenges. A talk with Katie Goody of Triangular Pixels. This is at virtuality-news.net. And interesting. I mean, we know all about aircraft flying simulations and stuff, and how airplanes are sometimes piloted from virtual cockpits. In other words, the pilot doesn't really go anywhere. However, according to Digital Trends, submarines of the future could be piloted using virtuality, and they have a look at that phenomenon. Right, more on the Facebook thing, to be honest. One article at Quartz, that's Quartz, Facebook's vision of the future of hanging out in VR is very sad and lonely. That's what they thought. But the Telegraph newspaper here in the UK, one of the major daily newspapers here, has a similar theme. Facebook's vision of the future is horribly antisocial. Yes, they're meant to be promoting a virtual world or a social virtual world, and the Telegraph figures it's actually horribly antisocial. So, for go figure, I might be inclined to agree with some of what they talk about there. Take a walk on the mild side. Bit of a play on words from a Lou Reed song there, I think. This is a post at yankodesign.com. yankodesign.com. And they refer to the fact that VR goggles haven't quite caught up to speed. And unlike bulky VR goggles, mild, this is where the mild side comes in, MILD, have introduced a more friendlier, more familiar way to enjoy VR. They are still bigger than a pair of sunglasses, but they go over your head. They're strapped behind your head and round your head, like a pair of sunglasses would, but they snap to your face contours. So halfway to something usable, in my opinion, and I'm the one who wants a pair of plug-in glasses. Okay, all that was on my feed at Twitter. I posted at Google Plus, I think it was yesterday, High Fidelity, the new social world being built by, in beta, built by Philip Rosedale, who founded Second Life, of course. They had their first VR talent show. They've been advertising it for a while recently, and there's a video up that you can follow the link to actually have a watch of that. Fairly rudimentary at this stage, only about 5 contestants and stuff, a couple of poets, a couple of musicians, and a bit of variety. And the whole thing was actually hosted by Dragster Dupre, and if you know Dragster, I was pleased to say his avatar in High Fidelity looked more or less identical to the avatar you see everywhere else, although he did seem to put on rather more weight than usual around his virtual stomach. Yep. I think you need to go on a diet, Dragster, at least when you're in High Fidelity. I should put it that way. Quite interesting indeed. Very well produced video too. I actually went in there to chat with the guys after the show was over, and I had a terrible time with my graphics and stuff, proving that High Fidelity really is only suitable for pretty high-end systems. By the time it actually goes public, I expect they are thinking the whole world will have very much more advanced kit. But anyway, joy to behold, and I was still able to go in and natter on voice, so that was no problem. Right, okay, and finally I'm going to open up twitter.com/Metaworld News feed. And again, very little extra here this week. Hypergridbusiness.com, Maria had an article on a virtual musician who's moved to Ohio to perform live, so incidental to the metaverse there, really. And also David Karuki at hypergridbusiness.com had a summary on OpenSim numbers down as 2 popular grids dropped their stats. And there's a bit of drama about grids not showing stats. Let me see. InWorlds, for example, says that it's irrelevant because they're not on the hypergrid, they're not OpenSim, they're Halcyon, although they are derived from similar things. The adult grid and indeed the Great Canada Grid have also stopped putting stats up, although they do still make them available, I hasten to say. They just don't advertise them in big letters on their login page. And finally, quite literally, there are 2 things. KirstenLeeCinquetti.blogspot.com. That's KirstenLeeCinquetti. You really didn't need that, did you? KirstenLeeCinquetti@blogspot.com. Black Desert Online just fired already. Basically, this is about an update to the Kirsten's viewer. That they've sort of put online, but I should point out that this actually now only works with the Second Life platform. It doesn't work with the hypergrid or OpenSIM, so of limited use there to those out in the wild, so to speak. And Thursday Member, of course, reports on Wednesday's Safari at hgsafari.blogspot.com, and the story is Safari goes down under. And indeed, whether crashing a lot counts as going under, I'm not quite sure. but which it did, in fact. 2 Australian locations plus another location. I managed to get to the last Australian location without any difficulty. I missed the first 2. Well, I was there, but didn't last long, if you understand. All you Metaverse people will know exactly what I mean when I say I didn't last long. It means my connection expired. Not my connection to the web, my connection on the hypergrid or whatever. It just wasn't have anything, and nothing was rezzing. Probably too many people on Safari landing on some poor person's home server. Who knows? But interesting event, and Thursday has all the photos on that blog. So that's it for this week. Fairly short roundup there, just proving that we will not fail to bring it you every week. No James or Marcus for developer news this week, and in fact we will not be filming an edition of the InWorld Review this week too, because of various technical difficulties that I hinted at a short while ago. So we will be back here with news this time next week, and probably with a long overdue InWorld Review as well. But that's it for now. I wish you all a very good week, and toodaloo, as they say somewhere.